This is the 2021 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment number 1, Dropkevike Nate Pale Ale. Thank you to our sponsors, Imperial Yeast, 5 Star Chemicals, Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store, Brewing America, all stainless steel mash paddle sponsors. Also Hopsteiner and Yakima Chief Hops. Get brewing.
Hey guys, Matt here, Wrecked Brewery. I'm going to do another review for the Brewtubers Yeast Experiment. This is hub number 1, Dropkevike Nate, where we all brewed the DKN recipe and kviked it up with some various Kvike strains. This one comes from Dennis Pinn at Woodshed Brewing. He's also a fellow canner. In fact, I got my idea from for canning from him. He uses the October SL1 as I now do, and the 16-ounce cans, and it's just awesome. He used the maniacal Berserker. Now I've used Berserker before, and I will say that that thing blew out like crazy. I mean, I think I blew out 2 or 3 times during my fermentation, and I've had to clean it out. The airlock that I was using, I made the mistake, I think, on that beer of not doing a blow off. It really needed it. So I'd be curious to know if Dennis, if yours blew out as well, because when I used Berserker, it went crazy and it got the job done and fast. Looks like he used a tablespoon slurry of it in his. So I don't know if he used a starter or not. Be interested to know that as well. I believe when I did mine, I did it from a starter. 5.25 gallon batch. He brewed on 411, kegged on 424, and he canned on 5.6. He uses that Blickman Tower of Power. He's got like a natural gas setup hardwired into his brew shed, so he doesn't have to go out and buy propane cylinders like I used to have to do on my propane system. So that's pretty cool. And it's a DIY version of it too. Like he actually took a bunch of different things and kind of made his own version of a claw hammer system. Really, really cool, and I'm sure for a very, very nice fraction of the cost. And I've brewed with him before. It's pretty cool to see that rig in action. I'm going to try to put his channel information below if I can remember to, and definitely check him out. He's definitely up and coming. I think he's passed me in subscribers even. I've been doing this for, the brew tubing for a while. So I don't know, man. Whatever, Dennis, whatever you're doing, and you're doing something right, because I think he's already up to nearing on the 400 subscriber mark. Actually, nice job, Dennis. Let's see here. He mashed at 152. Mash pH was 5.5. Pre-boil gravity of 1047. He whirlpooled at 175 for 30 minutes. The OG of this beer was 1055. Looks like he fermented at 85 degrees. He's got a fermentation chamber with a heating pad and a Johnson controller. Dry hopped for 7 days at 65. Cold crashed 3 days at 35. Finished out at 1012. The final serving pH of this was 4.4. He force carbonated it with 40 psi for 24 hours. And then he's serving it, looks like he's serving it at 10 psi. What is he saying on here? It says fermentation took off 36 hours before any sign of action, and then it just went absolutely nuts for the next 36 hours. Should have added a blow-off tube and thought he had 2 gallons of headspace, but figured it was enough, but it was not. Made a decent mess. Yeah, that sounds pretty much spot on to my experience with Berserker. So that's good to hear that you had the same experience. That means if I use Berserker again, and I'm sure I will because I have some in the fridge, to be careful with it because it goes crazy. Well, let's see what we have here. We've talked about this long enough. Got good old trusty muffin top glass. I got a few of these. Comes from our newest sponsor, Brewing America. And love these glasses. Very cool. They don't quite fit a full pint in here, but they're pretty close. So I'll leave the last bit of that behind. I'll just top it off later if I have to. Wow on the carbonation, Dennis. Nice job. Look at that. That's probably almost 2 fingers, finger and a half of head there. It's a very small, tight bubbles on that. Very frothy even. Sort of meringue-like. That's probably going to stick around for a while. Interesting look on that. That is the most different so far that I've had of all the DKNs. This might visually could pass for a New England IPA. Very hazy, very orange juice looking actually. and probably a bit lighter than the DKN would be as well. Very, very citrusy, very orange on the nose. Not really getting some of the DKN hops that I'm familiar with. Like I know the El Dorado and the Galaxy. To me, the El Dorado gives a little bit of like a pear kind of aroma to it, and the Galaxy gives sort of like that passion fruit. And I know when you put the two of them together, at least what I've noticed, you kind of get this like interesting like juicy fruit bubblegum. I don't know if that's because of the yeast that does that, or if it's a combination of that and the hops that does that. But this one, definitely getting some of the a little bit of the El Dorado profile in the aroma. It's starting to die down now that it's been in the glass for a bit. But right away I got hit with a ton of citrus, which just kind of started to die down now. It was very, very orange at first. Yeah, it's almost like the pith from an orange. Like, you know, when you first pull off the peel of the orange, and you kind of get that aroma right from that. That's kind of what this is reminding me of right off the bat. But it's definitely died down. I'm not getting what I expect to smell from the Galaxy, like that passion fruit. I'm not really getting a whole lot of that. To me, this was more citrus up front, which has started to die down. Well, let's check it out. Cheers. The taste kind of follows for me. I'm definitely tasting more of like an orange peel, pulp, kind of a taste to that. Very interesting. Yeah, I might be getting a little bit of that pear that I've come to find in the El Dorado. Not really getting a lot of the, for me, I'm not really getting a lot of that Galaxy. Isn't it really interesting how that kind of took a back seat with this yeast? And it's not as hop forward or bitter as the Control is, or even as my Juggernaut, the one I did was. That one, to me, it was very close to the Control, but it was a little bit more muted. Is probably the sort of the summary I would put on the Juggernaut for me. It was very similar to the Control, but it just tasted to me like it was a little bit low key compared to the Control. This is a fair bit different. It's not as bitter. It's not as hop forward that way, and I'm getting more pronounced characteristics from the El Dorado more so than the Galaxy. That's really interesting, and there's a lot more orange character to this. Not like eating an orange though. More like the orange peel or the pith or the pulp. That kind of taste from that. Really cool. Really interesting. It even looks the part too. It sort of looks like orange juice. Oh, nice job, Dennis. Great job on this. That lacing is killer. Look at that. Just hanging onto the glass. Carbonation just sticking around. The head is just hanging around as well. So very cool. Well, that's just a lot of fun. Looking forward to trying the rest of these out. I'm just going to go ahead and give another plug out to our sponsors. Big thank you to everybody that has helped make this possible. All the free hops that we got from Hopsteiner and Yakima Chief. Very, very cool. We're going to have plenty of hops amongst the club, that the folks that were in the part of this experiment. They're going to have quite a few hops for quite a long time. Beer and wine hobby, big thank you to you guys for helping put together the ingredients for this recipe. I think most of us, if not all of us, bought the ingredients for this from them, which makes this even more of a control, because we all pretty much use the same ingredients minus the yeast. Big thank you to 5 Star for helping keep our brewery clean and sanitized. And again, thank you to our newest sponsor, Brewing America. Very cool glasses from them. Well, we'll see you guys on the next review. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Cheers. Oh, and it is Wednesday, so happy Homebrew Wednesday. Take care.